Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the PIB videos they come, and the PDF you will get on the Telegram channel of StudyIQ and on my Facebook group that is given on the last page. 15th of May it is, and let's start the lesson. We are discussing very important MCQs here, so please do not miss any of the lesson. And PIB session is totally exam oriented, so please share these lessons so that maximum advantage you can take here. These courses are extremely important. You can call on these numbers and you can visit the website here. 60% off is going on. You're appearing in 2020 2021. These courses are going to be extremely beneficial for you. ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting, that is ADMM and ADMM plus Maritime Security Field Training Exercise, MSFTX. They are happening in South China Sea, not in East China Sea. So this is wrong. That was concluded on 13th of May. So India is participating here. India's INS Kolkata and INS Shakti, they both are taking part here, and these two ships are also taking part in the International Fleet Review of China. That is the 70th annual celebration of PLA Navy, and they are also participating in the Defense Expo that is to be scheduled in Singapore. So second is wrong here, first is also wrong. So D9 is the answer here. As I told you, Maritime Defense Exposition IMDEX will happen in Singapore, not in China. So this is wrong. Second, INS Kolkata and INS Shakti, they are scheduled to participate here. Kolkata is a missile destroyer and Shakti is a replenishment ship. It supports the other fleet's ships and it takes cargoes, fuels and all these things. So this is called the replenishment ship. So Shakti and Kolkata. So only 2 is the correct answer. 1 is wrong here. 1989. I told you regarding the Basel Convention, and it was legally binding. Okay, so this is wrong. It was legally binding, and since the start, plastic was not there. With this Geneva Convention, Geneva Agreement, and this new addition is there regarding the plastic, because plastic has become a new menace for this world. And in 1989, the world did not recognize this issue as a big pollutant. So plastic was not there in the hazardous list, but now plastic, nanoplastic, all these issues are very hazardous for the aquatic ecosystem, mainly for the oceans mainly. So this first is also wrong because it was not there in the starting. And you see one more issue was highlighted here. International POP Elimination Network, IPEN Network, that is also talking about this plastic and its disposal in this particular news. So it's a global network of intergovernmental agencies. No, it's a network of 600 NGOs. More than 600 NGOs are there where they are working in their respective countries. So this is wrong. And it's dedicated to common aim of eliminating the persistent organic pollutants, not plastic pollutant. It's a POPs as the name suggests here. IPEN. So POP, it's organic pollutant, but they are also talking about the plastic now. And in this Geneva Agreement, they said that there must be amendments in the Basel Convention, and this plastic should also be added here. So both are wrong again. D9 is the answer here. You can read the text here. IPEN is a global network of more than 600 public interest non-governmental organizations working together for elimination of persistent organic pollutants. You see, Stockholm Convention is also working regarding the removal of POPs. Okay, and it is also having the same aim, but you see it's connected with it but not directly a part of it. National Technological Day, this was observed on 11th of May across India. That's correct. You see Pokhran 2, or we call it Operation Shakti. This ASAT launching was the Mission Shakti. Okay, this ASAT was Mission Shakti, and this was Operation Shakti when we tested the second nuclear nuke, and that was the second nuclear experiment in the Pokhran area of western Rajasthan. Between Jaisalmer and Jodhpur, Pokhran is located, and there we did this experiment. First one in 74, that was the Smiling Buddha experiment. That was the first one. Second one was here on 11th of May 1998. So that's why this date was important. So commemorating this, Technological Development Board of India, that's a statutory body under the Ministry of Science and Technology. So this commemorates for this particular 11th May as the Technology Day, but not for the spacecraft launch. It was not for the spacecraft launch. One more thing was associated with 11th of May is that first Hansa 2 first indigenous aircraft, that was also launched on 11th of May in 1998. So that date was very, very important. So second is wrong and first is correct. So only one is the correct answer here. Next, vermin status. You see, if Wildlife Protection Act is giving protection to different species, Schedule 1 the maximum protection, and there are 6 schedules. If any animal or any species is declared vermin, then the states, these states will send a request to the center, and center, according to section 62, is given the power to declare any animal as vermin for the selective slaughter. So it is actually losing its protection, and it will be added to the Schedule 5, not Schedule 4. It will be added to the Schedule 5 list, where no more protection would be available. Okay, so this C is wrong, A is also wrong, and B is correct, because section 62 talks about this and center is given this power. And you see, recently the rhesus monkey in Himachal Pradesh, that was declared as vermin because they became dangerous for the crops and for the animals. They were attacking animals and all, and the way sometimes wild boars and some deers and all, they are also declared vermin in very different states. So B is the answer here, because it is asking about the correct option here. Vermin status under the Wildlife Protection Act of 72, remember that. And Schedule 5 is talking about the vermins. These are the words that I found today. And now the news today. Mamta's morphed photo. You see, it is the issue of polity, where this BJP leader created a funny image, and she actually pasted Mamata Banerjee's face on the Priyanka Chopra's Met Gala photo. So that was offensive for Mamata Banerjee, and you see, she took this offense and she sent a notice to her. And now Supreme Court said that she has to apologize. Why? Many people are asking question why, because a lot of pictures are circulating in public domain for the many leaders, and all the leaders are attacked like that. So what is the meaning to apologize here? It is all freedom of expression, and it's all a funny situation. But Supreme Court says if Mamata Banerjee would not have said anything to this issue, then we would have let her go. But now Mamata Banerjee is offended, and she said she says that I am angry with this thing, and she has to apologize. Then she has to, because it is not about freedom of expression. It is about infringing some other person's rights. So you are insulting some other person, and that person acknowledges that, and that person says that I am offended by this, and that's why she has to apologize here. That's the issue. If Mamata Banerjee would not have said anything, then there would not have been any issue regarding that. So that's the polity issue, and they may ask about questions about that. And next, fuel flow. You see, the biggest exporter for oil to India is Saudi Arabia, next Iraq, next Venezuela, and fourth one is Iran. 10% of our needs are fulfilled from Iran. But now after 2nd of May, this is halted a process, but the government says that after 23rd of May, when elections would be over, we will take a decision regarding the issue, because it's a very important issue, and in this fuzzy time, and it's a very busy time, and we cannot decide about anything. And certainly they have to see that whether the government would change or not, but the new tenor would start. So in that tenor only they will decide about this issue. Next, southwest monsoon likely to set in over Kerala on June 4. You see, southwest monsoon of India is very unique. Nowhere in this world the direction is from southwest to northeast, but it happens in India. It's a reversal of wind, and in just opposite direction of the normal wind. Normally the winds blow from northeast to southwest, so that's the normal situation. But here the situation is reversed, and it happens uniquely that these winds, they will cross the equatorial area, and they will hit the Somalian area, and then they would have this impact towards India, and they will move towards Indian mainland and taking humidity from Arabian Sea and coming towards the Indian mainland. So this is a very unique phenomenon, and you see, this goes into phases. You can see here the first wind streak that starts from here around 1st of June. It starts from the Kerala coast, and the same wind streak would go up to here. That means when this area would be hit by rains, at the same time Mizoram would also be hit by this by the same day with these rains, because this will move to this area in this direction, and it actually gradually moves upwards. Okay, first the winds will blow like that, after that they will blow like that, after that they will blow like that, after that they will blow like that, and the same wind pattern would bring rains on the same day. If 11 to 14 June this wind is moving from here, then it will bring rain to this area on the same date till here also. Okay, so this takes around mid of July to reach up to here to the Western Rajasthan area, and till that time not much humidity is left in the air. So that's why this western region of Western Rajasthan, that hardly is getting any rains here, and the same applies with the Pakistan's area. That is also a desert area here. So that's the thing. And these are blocked by Himalayas here, because they are the ultimate stoppage here for these winds, because Himalaya is too high, and these winds, they would stay south to Himalaya only. Otherwise these winds would have crossed this area, and there would not have been any rains in India, in this northern part of India. Otherwise only rains that would be happening, that area would be peninsular India only, if Himalaya would not have been there. So these kind of questions are very, very unique and very, very famous for the UPSC examination. Okay, so please go through all these last 5 to 7 minutes where I explained this issue. Very important question they ask about this. Next, that trade services restrictiveness index, services trade restrictiveness index, STRI. India is saying that there is one area of services where we have brought maximum liberalization in the terms of FDI and the foreign investment and the foreign opening of our services trade. So that's the unique area where we have advanced a lot, and after the economic liberalization phase we have done a lot here, and the maximum liberalization is there in this area. Then why in this new restrictiveness index by OECD countries, which was started in 2014, why they are telling us that India is very much restrictive in its trade policy, services policy? This is bizarre for us, and we are not accepting that, and it is in a way shocking for us that one area where we are most liberalized in the economic sense, and that is being targeted by the OECD index here. So they may ask about this STRI, who is releasing it. It is OECD countries, which are mainly developed countries. India is not a party of it, and they are evaluating 45 economies, and out of 45, 36 are the OECD economies, and 9 are other economies, and by sectors also they are evaluating here. But issue is that services sector, where services are the biggest contributor to the GDP, and there is a bit slowdown right now that is going on. But if you talk about 5 to 7 years back, the situation was like that. It was the great contributor in the GDP. More than 40% was coming only from the services sector, and it was the major employer sector also. So that's the thing. Now many policies are are coming for India, and they are targeting many changes here. They are gonna give chance to many professionals here. They will create technological professionals here. They are targeting tier 2, tier 3 cities. So it is all about the electronics policy, but it is again the services sector, okay, where all these developments are happening. And still OECD says that we are very much restrictive in our services trade policy. Next, Gulf on the edge. As I told you, as we discussed, and we have been discussing this issue, that America has deployed its aircraft carriers here, Abraham Lincoln, Arlington, all these, and the Patriot ones, they are deployed here. Missiles are targeting Iran here, because Iran has partially withdrawn from this Iran nuclear deal, that is JCPOA, and it has given 60 days window to the other countries of the Iran deal apart from USA, that within 60 days bring some resolution scheme, or I will withdraw totally from this particular deal, and after that I will go for the enrichment of our nuclear facilities. And then America says that we will attack Iran if this happens like that. And if Iran does not come to negotiating table, we are expecting a call. If this not happen, then we are certainly going to target there. You see, Saudi Arabia, the staunch enemy of Iran, because it is a Sunni country and it is a Shia country. but both are Muslim countries, but still the great rift is there, and America is going to target here because some important establishments are there for America in this region and in this Gulf region. This is Strait of Hormuz and Gulf of Oman and Gulf of Yemen here. And if we look at the data, that's really a scary situation here. You see US has troops stationed across the Gulf of countries, and in this month of May, the deployment you can see here, US ends waiver given to Iran oil buyers including India. May 6, US sends an aircraft carrier and a bomber, both, and it's a clear message to the Iranian regime. Iran suspends on May 8th some of the restrictions under the nuclear deal, and it's a partial withdrawal, then threatens to enhance uranium enrichment facilities, and 60 days windows given to other European nations. And Pentagon on May 9th presents a military plan for this region, and they are sending around 120,000 troops to West Asia. So this is not a good development, and US blames Iran for an attack on 4 ships off the UAE coast. And you see, this is the very typical thing of America, that it starts blaming the enemy, and it will say that it has attacked us and it has attacked our facilities, our establishments, our ships and all, and then it will attack in a bigger way. So that is happening, but Iran is denying these charges, that we have not done anything like that, and we have to see here. Now America, the same country here with Chinese issue. You see, China retaliated with raise in the tariffs, and again for the second time, US is saying that we will target now $300 billion of the tariffs, and more than 3,800 goods, they will have a tariff rise here. And you see, in this whole issue, all these employees who are working in these American companies and the Chinese companies, their lives are devastated. They are losing their jobs because it's a very devastating thing for the economy. It's not a simple thing, because imports and the exports, they are huge with both the countries, and they both are importing and exporting huge amounts of goods and all these services and all. And here, if these tariffs are going to be on things like laptops, mobile phones, clothing, motorbike, toys, pharmaceuticals, pharmaceuticals would be excluded, but all these other things, they would invite higher tariffs. So these are the famous things, these are very much usable things for the consumers. So how they can raise this much amount? But now both countries are directly at a trade war. Consistently, one after the other, they are raising these tariffs, and where this war is going to be stopped, whether it is going to stop or not, and what kind of developments would be there in the future, that we have to see, because US is disturbing a lot of areas. Whether we talk about economy, this is the situation here, and China is also supporting this particular trade war. And you see, what kind of negotiations America want, we do not know. What kind of negotiations with Iran America wants, we do not know. They are saying that we are expecting a call from Iran, but Iran says we are a proud nation and we will not call America for that, and it's all the mess created by America, and all these sanctions and all these are illegitimate. So there is no point that we are going to call America for that, and we will not ask for anything as a help from America. So this is all American issues at the core, but all these developments are very, very negative. If you talk about the world economy, this thing is really on a very negative track. If you talk about geopolitics and the security issue, then again these issues are going on. But certainly in both these cases, biggest losers would be the normal public. Here the employees who are working in these companies, here the Iranian people. Next, quick, cheap and diagnostic test for hemophilia A. You see, it's a genetic disorder, and in the bleeding issues, where we need to clot on the surface so that the bleeding stops, so that clot is not produced because of this faulty gene and this missing of the protein. So this is the issue of hemophilia, and the National Institute for Immunohematology, which is there in Mumbai, and that is under the ICMR's authority. So they have developed these cost-effective point-of-care diagnostic test for severe hemophilia A and von Wille brand disease patients. Von Wille disease, it's again a genetic disorder, and both are related with your blood issues and the blood clotting issues. So you see, They may ask you about many diseases which are the genetic disease, like the Patau syndrome and the jumping gene syndrome, or they may ask you about Down syndrome, Turner syndrome. These are genetic disease. Hemophilia is also a genetic disease where it's because of faulty gene, and those are disease where some chromosomes they are missing or they are in some addition. So these are genetic disorders, means by birth they are there with you, and they are running into families, and there are specific cases that mother would be carriers, and when mother and father they both would be carriers, then the children, 1/4 of these children, they would be having this hemophilia and all. So this is all the genealogy process, and the same runs with the blood groups. Okay, that if mother and father both are having a particular blood groups, and if both are having O positive, or one is O, one is B, one is A, one is B, what kind of results would be there? So all these things are related with these issues. So in the NCERTs we read about these issues, so these are important. So if you have extra time now, and if you have not read these issues, then you can go for that. Otherwise, leave these issues, and just remember that hemophilia, it's a genetic disease. Next, Wayanad Sanctuary, it's a tiger kingdom. Why they are calling it? Because out of 176 tigers in Kerala, 75 are found in that. Wayanad, you see in the Kerala region, you see this is the area where Tamil Nadu, and here this Karnataka, and it is Kerala. So this area is a meeting ground, and near this area northeast to it, Nagarhole National Park is there, where the maximum number of tigers are present. And here 75 tigers are there, so it's a huge area. Idukki Dam is there, and nearby area Idukki Wildlife Sanctuary is there, and this is also part of Western Ghat, but there are no tigers. But here there are many tigers which are the apex predators in the area. So they may ask about this issue, and where this Wayanad Sanctuary is, what it is famous for. It is famous for tigers now, but it is also famous for the the lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri tar, and all these are found here. Okay, so these biodiversity issues, endangered species issues, they are also very important. Like it's an endangered animal. Asiatic lion is also an endangered animal. So that's why the details become very important. Next, about the articles, it's a repeated issue. Rakesh Sood, the former diplomat, says the situation is really sensitive and scary, and US provokes Iran. Openly it is provoking Iran, and it is trying to corner Iran here, but Iran is gonna retaliate here. Iran says like that, and if the same develops as a situation in the future, then this region would be totally destabilized, and what's going to happen, all would have the consequences here, because Iran is not a small country, and it's a nuclear power for sure. Officially it does not say about that, but in a reality many informations are there that it is having nuclear stockpiles here, and it is going to deploy that. So it's a huge concern, and that is the reason that America is targeting it, and many issues are there that it is supporting the terror groups which are fighting against American forces and all. So that's why America, Israel, and Saudi Arabia, they are on the same page targeting Iran, and Iran is trying to seek the cooperation from countries like Russia and others. So if this becomes a full-scale war, then certainly this can develop into a huge issue, and because the nuclear issue is there, then a quotient approach would be demanded from both these countries, and especially these European nations. They collectively would have to talk to America and Iran both, otherwise there is no solution, because both are maintaining their egos, and America is creating a lot of mess here, and Trump is going in its own fit of egos and all these sanctions and all. It is trying China a lot, and it is trying Iran a lot. It is provoking both these countries, and this is happening on the trade issue. China is provoked there, and here Iran is provoked there. So what's going to happen next, we all need to see. So it's all a repeated issue, and some facts are given here. We will discuss that in brief. GS paper 2 would be important here, otherwise all the repeated things are there. Regarding the climate emergency, we will discuss that important topic for GS paper 2 and 3 both. This is the issue related to the reservation issue, the 10% economically weaker section reservation issue. How it is difficult, and it is not going to be much fruitful here, because the present process says that it would not be much useful for the economically weaker sections. It is going to create a lot of problems there. So there are problems in the implementation. So we will read about this issue, and important for GS paper 2 here. In this article, the writer says that for the sectors like automobile, the trucks industries, the cars and bikes and all, they are observing a big decline in the sales, and in some areas it is happening after 10 years. So it's a huge decline, and this issue is really troublesome because it is the most sensitive phase in our political establishment, and here the elections are going on. So that's obvious that this decline would be there because many speculations are there, investments are halted now, and nobody is ready to resume these processes because all would be resuming it after the new government formation. But these areas are struggling a lot, manufacturing areas are struggling a lot. It's a huge concern, and it is accumulating with the time. And the issue is that very soon, if these things are not solved, then they can turn into different kinds of problems. Already many companies they are facing NPA crisis and all, and the banks are also struggling. But these big sectors like automobile, which used to be a very bright sector for Indian economy, now it is facing issues here. So that's why we need to take care, and any government that would come, as soon as it is possible, they need to clarify all these issues, and they need to take care about these sensitive areas. Okay, so next we would start with the articles. Here the writer is explaining the JACPOA and how P5 countries and +1 means Germany and the European Union, they were the party to it, and they supported both these countries. It was the biggest political victory for Obama, as he accepted that, and he said that this thing was possible because of a lot of effort, and all these countries were crucial here. But this was not acceptable to Trump since the start, and he never left any chance to criticize this deal, and in the end it withdrew from that deal. And after that, things are becoming very difficult, not only for Iran, for other countries also. And now this sanctions which are applicable and the waivers are also ended for countries like India, Germany, France, all these countries. So they all are facing the flag here. And you see, all these countries, even these JACPOA deal member countries, they were supporting Iran there, and they were saying that these sanctions were illegitimate ones, as we had discussed earlier also. And you see, Oman actually at that time brokered this particular deal, and this thing became possible between US and Iran. So it is not only US that was crucial here. All these countries and their efforts, those were also praiseworthy. But now when America flouted some norms, then there was no issue. But now they are alleging Iran on many issues, then it becomes a huge issue. And you see, these things were known to America, these things were known to Obama also, and that's why they did this deal. And Iran accepted many terms, and IAEA as a body was allowed for these inspections and all these observations in the Iran facilities and all. So those things were possible. So it was a very huge deal. But now America withdrew from everything, then it is really a very irresponsible thing for the America. Here the missile development program and the nuclear nukes program of Iran, when it says that within 60 days, if no resolution mechanism is evolved by the European nations, then I would go for the full scale withdrawal from this deal. Till now, only partial withdrawal is there, and America has deployed all these aircraft carriers and all these bombers and all these missiles destroyers and all. So Iran has to take some steps. So this thing has become very much legitimate for Iran to counteract on it. So retaliation would be there for sure. But before that, all these countries, they have a big responsibility, and they have a big opportunity also to solve this issue as earliest as possible. Otherwise, things would go out of the hand. This is for the first time US is declaring any country's force as the terrorist organization. IRGC, the main force of Iran, it has been declared as a terrorist organization by America. So this is not respectable, and this is really offensive. And because of that, Iran would face very difficult situation from the groups like FATF and all, and the funding economic issues will be troubling Iran. Iran would be cornered, and all these countries, when they are protracting this issue, they are not readily taking a stiff decision regarding that. So that is creating a problem. 60 days window is given by Iran, and they need it to develop some mechanisms. Some things were developed, like on 31st of January, European Union actually started INSTEX here, instrument in support of trade exchanges, so that the dollar would not be needed and the trade would be possible between Iran and European Union. So that was devised, and that was a positive step. And Iran in the response, STFI brought STFI. This is Special Trade and Financial Institution. So in a way, American dollar was not needed for these trade and all. So here this was a better thing, and these particular instruments were important. But now after these end of waivers by America, these are also becoming very troublesome. So that's why Iran observes this situation, and it says that I do not see any great support from these nations also. And if all these are going against me, then I would be left alone, and I would not have any other option than going for the enrichment of our nuclear facilities. Which are the facilities? You can see here these Bushehr, Arak and Fordo. These are three important facilities, and it would go for the breaching of this cap of 3.67%, which is the condition under the JACPOA. So the total withdrawal is not done by Iran till now. And till now, the Iranian facilities, they are under IAEA's inspection regime, and that is going on. But very soon they would lose this opportunity, and Iran would go for the further escalation of this issue. 3.67% is the cap now, and they need to go towards 90% to make these atomic bombs and all out of these nuclear material. So that is a big fear here. So all countries, they need to come together. They need to talk to these both these countries. Maybe America is a bigger country, but it has to come to some terms. Otherwise, this escalation is not good. And cornering some country, putting all kinds of sanctions and threatening other countries also, that would not be acceptable by this world. That is for sure. And America has to understand that. Next, this climate change issue. Here the writer says that countries in their practical efforts, they are not doing much. And today the condition is like that. If we are not taking war scale efforts, then nothing is gonna change, and very soon we will be moving ahead towards devastation. And for sure we need to find some other place to live, otherwise Earth would not be habitable here. Climate change is a continuous process. It is haunting our future, and the kids which are being raised today and the next generations which are about to come, how they are going to deal with this situation, that looks totally impossible. Because bigger countries like America, who are hardly accepting the truths, and they are barely acknowledging this issue, that's really a cause of concern. If we look at this data, then the developed countries, they are actually doing very great in this particular phase, and they are becoming more and more richer, okay, in this last 50 years, where this climate change impact was the maximum. And countries like India, developing countries like India, they are actually losing a lot of things. They are becoming much more poorer, in a sense. In a sense means because there is inequality. So that's why we are losing there. And the kind of development which should have been there till now, that would not be there. So these richer countries, developed countries, which have bigger responsibilities, they are actually at advantage till now. And they are not acknowledging the issue. If we look at the scary data, then there would be at least 1/5 species that would be at loss, and their populations would be diminished to very low numbers. 1 million species, they are under threat of extinction, and 85% of wetlands, they would be disappearing, because the climate change would raise the average temperature, and all these wetlands, they would no more be there. So that would be a history. And here you see, in these policies, domestic policies, their manifestos and all, nowhere we find these mentions. And the nexus between governments and these elite networks which are being developed by these fossil fuel companies, agro-industrial elites and financial elites and other corporate houses and all, with the government, they are doing these nexuses, and they want to exploit at the maximum. And they are never caring about the earth, about the future generations, that how they are going to live, because these are mainly rich people, so they have many avenues, and they have many capacities. So why do they would care about the poor people? and these are rich people, their generations would also be rich, so they do not care about the issue, and they think that they would survive, but it is not going to happen like that. Their generations would also be finding it very, very difficult. And you see about the fossil fuel subsidies, these subsidies are actually rising. These are detrimental to the climate change issue, but these are actually rising with the time. There used to be $4.7 trillion subsidy in 15, and they have come to $5.2 trillion in 2017, means $500 billion. They are more in number in 2 years. Means we are going backwards. We are not going towards solutions. We are actually supporting the fossil fuel production. So what is the use? And here writers talks about two important examples like Arctic and Mozambique. Mozambique coast observed this cyclone Idai and Kenneth, and a lot of devastation was there. This is the area which is rich in liquid natural gas, and all these resources are there. So all these companies are working there, and these exploring companies and all, and these energy companies, they also felt this devastation, and their facilities and all, they all were uprooted, and they faced this issue. But they do not care because they have all the insurances. But the poor people living on these areas, they are the most vulnerable people, and they actually are dealing with the left behind trail of woes. And the Arctic area, that is also rich in oil, gas, uranium and other precious metals. So all these countries like Russia and the developed countries and all, they all are moving towards these areas. They have started actually all these exploration processes and all on the ocean bottom. They are finding many things, because it's not a continent. Arctic is an ocean, and it is melting very fast. So there would be no North Pole after some years, that is for sure. And these companies and all these nexuses of the governments and these companies, they are not stopping. That means they are even not acknowledging this issue. So it's a very shocking thing. And some countries which are taking some good steps, like America, not America, America is the worst one. UK has become the first country who has recognized that there is a climate emergency after the speeches by some kids, and they left schools and they came on the roads and they said that please think about our future, where we are going to live. So after that it became a very sensitive issue, and whole world started talking about this. UK declared the climate emergency in the world, and after that Ireland, the nearby country, that also declared the climate emergency. So that's really a good step, and this way all countries, they need to declare this climate emergency. It's a global emergency and it's about our existence, but we are not thinking about that. What kind of thing is that? It's a bizarre thing, it's a laughable thing, and it's not even laughable, it's a scary thing that we do not care about our future. So we are behaving in a very foolish way here. It's a very important topic for mains. It's a very important topic for essay topic, and all these examples you can cite there. Okay, and the countries like India, you see where the condition is so worse. Out of 15 most polluted cities, 14 cities are there. Out of 15 cities, 14 cities are there. And in the WHO, the other index of climate change and the air pollution also, there also we were having the most polluted cities here in India, and most of there are near the capital region. So why we do not care? And you see in the last recent years, have you seen a single debate on the climate change topic? No. But we talk about all nonsensical issues. Mandir, masjid, what this person said, what that Neta said, and what they are talking about, what kind of abuses are there, and in which way they can defeat the other one, and what kind of drama can be run on the television channels and all. So they are misusing the public platforms and all, and they are not talking about the crucial issues. And the countries like India, which are claiming a lot, which are never hesitating in commitments and all these big talks and all, but the reality is that our goals of 2022 of solar power and the wind power and all, these are also not gonna be completed. This is the reality, but we do not care about this issue. All we care about elections. We are becoming so crude in our thinking, we are becoming so foolish in our thinking that a very sensitive country, the most sensitive country for the climate change issues, that is not talking about any of these things. And you see America is much more capable. They can turn the situations in a very less time, but we do not have that much capability, we do not have that much investment capabilities. So we need to acknowledge this issue in a very sensitive manner, but we do not do that. And all these nexuses we see, you see the tobacco companies, they ran propagandas for years, for decades, that cigarettes are safe, they are not harmful. But now the truths, they are out, that people are dying of cancer, mouth cancer, lung cancer, and that the biggest reason is the tobacco. So that is how these nexuses are running, and their results, they are visible after 10, 20, 30 years, and then things are going out of our hands. But this time it's very sensitive, it's about the climate change issue, and if we do not do much, then certainly the scary report is there that this temperature rise can be more than 5.5 degrees centigrade. This can be like that. And the way the development is happening, more and more ACs are being used, more and more refrigerators we are using, more and more machines, cars, vehicles we are using. This may go more than 5 degrees centigrade by the end of this century. So you see what we are doing and why we are not caring about this issue. That's really a big concern. Okay, next article we will discuss day after tomorrow, because it is having some tough language and it is having some difficult data, so that needs some time. Okay, and today the time is running, it's around 10:30 already, and I need to publish this lesson and we do not have much time here. So the language is somehow tough, so please go through this article. If you find any difficulty, then we will discuss this thing in much detail on day after tomorrow, because tomorrow is Thursday, many articles would be there. If I would find any time, then I would discuss this tomorrow, otherwise day after tomorrow. So please forgive me for that. We will surely discuss that issue. These are the questions that I'm giving to you, and please look for the answers and additional data you should look for. These are very much helpful in the prelims examination. The PDF you will get here. Thanks a lot.